So when you tune into consciousness and become the observer of your reality, right, what you're doing is pulling yourself out of the understanding that this is the end all be all, right? So you're pulling yourself out of doom and gloom, right? Or even whether the situation is good or bad, you're pulling yourself out of this is the only thing that exists and this is my world and this is where I am fully. You know what I'm saying? To kind of minimizing whatever situation, whatever problem is taking over your world. And once you minimize it, I'm not saying, okay, this is not important. Like, you know, this is where we are right now, right? We are existing in this time, space reality. Our consciousness is here, right? So this is where we are right now. To minimize the situation is not to detach completely and say, oh, this has nothing to do with me, right? Your world has everything to do with you, right? But you're pulling yourself out and saying, this is my reality. This is me in this temporary existence, right? But this is not all of me, right? If I'm the manifester of my own world, then I have room to be more than what this physical is, you know? And when you're giving yourself that room, you're not solely tuning out, right? You're tuning out to tune in. So you're tuning out of the situation. You're tuning out of a false reality that this is the end all be all, but you're tuning into you. You know what I'm saying? You're tuning into your feelings, your emotions. You're tuning into the nuances of your own energy and figuring out how those came about, right? So what I'm describing is pretty much meditation, right? So you tune out the world to tune into you, which is the real world, right? The you that is more, you know, than just the physical. And when you do this, you block out the temporary distractions, right? When I talk about the temporary distractions, I mean the physical distractions. You block those out because that is not the eternal part of yourself, but you're tuning into the eternal part of yourself, the essence and your feelings, right? So when you feel the nuances of your feelings, you know you can begin to differentiate triggers, why certain things make you feel the way that they do, you know, or why you react to things in the way that you do. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can make you feel like anything, right? Our feelings are reactions to things, right? But why do you react in this way? What makes you react in this way? And every time it's not necessarily to simply just get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to sterilize yourself, but you're trying to be more aware of yourself. So when you're more aware of, oh, this is a trigger, because whenever this happens, I begin to feel like this, right? And when you realize those triggers, right, and it's something that you don't want. So say another person's behavior, right? That doesn't have, I mean, you know, you can get triggered by another person's behavior or something that somebody says. But when you dive into the reason of why that specific thing triggers you so much, then you can begin to rid yourself of that trigger. You know what I'm saying? So triggers are triggers until they're not anymore. Everybody talks about trigger warning, but triggers are good. You know what I'm saying? Have this thing trigger you so that you can realize how to diminish the effect it has on your life, because it's your effect. Like, you're reacting to it. You know what I'm saying? It's not making you do anything. You're reacting to it. So if you're confronted with this thing over and over again, it's a trigger until it's not anymore. And when you're on that journey to learning yourself and knowing yourself, those triggers are going to come up. You know, the world is conspiring for your good. You know what I'm saying? So spirit is going to put those triggers in your life over and over again, not to make you go crazy, but so that the effect is diminished. You know what I'm saying? If you know that if you're on that conscious journey with spirit, things are going to happen, things are going to pop up that are going to trigger you. And this happens constantly. And this happens so that they don't become triggers anymore, so that you become stronger. You know what I'm saying? So that you're dealing with these things, these issues that once were pains or once were debilitating in your life. You know what I'm saying? You're practicing realizing that this is part of the temporary and you are eternal. You know what I'm saying? You're practicing realizing the realization. You know, you're practicing realizing that these things don't have dominion over you. Knowing that everything is conspiring for your good, you start to embrace things that you wouldn't have embraced before. Everybody wants to feel good, but most people would rather get it in quick fixes. You know what I'm saying? Those quick fixes don't change anything. You keep doing the same thing over and over again. And so you get these temporary highs and you keep yearning for these temporary highs. So you do more and more things to get these temporary highs, when you can actually have true balance in your life and know how to bring yourself to balance through a longer term a solution that brings long term results. You know what I'm saying? And this is repetitive. You understand that there are triggers in your life. You know what I'm saying? You understand that you can rid yourself of these triggers by facing them, facing them over and over again. To push these things down and never deal with them is keeps the issue there. You know what I'm saying? It changes nothing. So you feel like you're dealing with something for years and years, or you're blaming the outside world for things that you can heal yourself, that you have to heal yourself. It is up to you, not because it's your fault, but because it's your reaction. And you're the only one that can control your reactions, And I'm not talking about outward reaction. Oh, I'm just not going to react to this thing. No. How do you feel? You can balance out how you actually feel about that thing. You know what I'm saying? You can react to this thing that was once a trigger and keep reacting, or keep understanding your reactions to it until it's no longer a trigger. And at that point, you've gained control over negative emotions. It no longer affects you how it did. It no longer has its potency to get you in a mood that you don't want to be in, Because the potency was never in that thing to begin with. It was always in your reaction to that thing, And I'm talking about your reaction, your feeling, not how you outwardly react. That's part of it, but that is an effect. That is because of the way you feel, the physical reaction, or physical action towards that. That's because of the way you feel. But your reaction is the feeling that you get when that trigger happens, And these triggers are not bad. They're there to alert you of something bigger, And it's not that it's a huge thing that is going to take over your life. The triggers are there to alert you that something is out of balance, that something needs to be confronted so that you can get back into balance. And like I said before, it's not always about balance. You don't always have to be in perfect balance. You go through ups and downs. That's just life. You know what I'm saying? But to know yourself better, that's what you want. You want to know yourself better. It requires you to confront yourself and confront those things that are hidden, that are pushed down, And people can even ask why. Why would I want to confront these things that are hidden? Why would I want to confront these things that are pushed down? So that not only that you can have control of your life, but so the outside world cannot control you. You know what I'm saying? If you realize that you're reacting to certain things in the outside world, or you're reacting to certain things in a specific way, and you begin to understand why you react to those things and how you react, and you begin to regulate what you don't want to feel and how you don't want to react, then there's nobody and nothing outside of you can have power over you. You know what I'm saying? Because you become that conscious observer, conscious in observing, but also in action, so that you realize you cannot be threatened, and you live in the truth that you cannot be threatened. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times we say that in theory, like, oh, I cannot be threatened because my soul cannot be threatened. It's true, but it's also true in fact. You know what I'm saying? In practice, it's true in practice that you cannot be threatened, but you have to go through certain avenues to understand yourself fully, to know that you cannot be threatened. You can't just say it and think you know it. No, the knowing comes with the experience, right, of getting to know yourself. You know what I'm saying? Of understanding that you are not threatened, But it comes with those triggers, you know what I'm saying? It comes with going through hell and back to realize hell ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? Hell is certainly not bigger than you and your eternal self, you know what I'm saying? But you have to know your own energy. You have to know your eternal self and the power that holds, you know what I'm saying? You have to know yourself from that standpoint. And I'm not just saying, oh, just see it from that perspective. No, you have to experience yourself from that perspective. So scary things, as you go towards the light, the darkness comes with it, and scary things start happening to you until they're not scary anymore. You know what I'm saying? And you realize life is a lot different than you thought it was, but that you can handle it. Because you're sticking with the truth. When you cling to the truth in every circumstance, you realize you can handle it, whatever hell is brought into your life, And you handling it is understanding the truth of yourself and the truth of the situation to the point that you realize that that's not real. Any fear is not real. The only thing that is real is love, and that is you. That's the only thing that's real. You know what I'm saying? The things that God created. This fear in this world is unreal. And there's avenues to learning the depth of that. You know what I'm saying? It's not just saying it. All of these things, there are lessons, there are trial and error that go along with all these messages, So when you choose to take that journey, you're going to be hit with a lot of stuff, But you can handle it. What else are we here for? But to understand who we are. What else are we here for? You can argue, oh, we're here to make money. We're here to build this and this for the family. We're here to leave this money. All of that. You can do all of that. You can do all of that. But at the end of it, you're going to have it, There's plenty of successful people. You got it. Now what? You know what I'm saying? You got it. Do you feel fulfilled? Hell no. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? The focus was on the wrong thing. All of these things are not in the eternal. All of these things are within the temporary. You know what I'm saying? All of these things are within the temporary. So you have to build your you have to build your house on the eternal. You have to build your belief system and on what is real. All these things in the temporary are going to fade away, including your body, but you will never fade away. So learn the lessons of the truth, of the parts of you that will never leave you. You know what I'm saying? If you want to leave something to your family, learn peace and then teach peace. You know what I'm saying? Teach how to gain it, learn love, and then teach how to love. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's the biggest legacy you can leave your family. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest lesson you can learn. And all these things, when you're in the vibration of love, all these things fall into place. You're going to get those material things, but you're going to realize that those material things aren't as important as you thought. But it's, once you get into that vibration, you're going to get what you want. You're going to get those things. But those things are not the end all be all. Focus on what's truly the end all be all. For real. And watch your life transform. When you focus on that, on what's real, and you're at a high vibration of love, all those good things are going to be attracted to you, as well as the crazy fucked up stuff, but the good stuff too. And these are good things that cannot be measured with the outside world. All those outside world things come too. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to realize what's more important, and you're going to gain the things that are more important, the things that are truly fulfilling. Try it. Following this type of path is not, it's evidence-based, but it's not, you're not going to see it in your outside world. It's faith-based, blind faith. So you're clinging to the truth rather than to sight, You're clinging to what you know to be true. You're clinging to the love of God, the faith that God has you, rather than what you're seeing in your outside world. Because things are not as it seems. Trust. Things are not as it seems. So you trust God. You have faith in God. That you will be taken care of. And I promise you through experience, like, you will be taken care of. And in situations that you think are impossible, you will be taken care of, And it's as you let go of that worry, as you let go of the doubt, that's when you rise up to the vibration of blind faith. And that's when things start transforming miraculously in your life, right? Miracles are natural. They happen all the time. But you have to let them, you have to allow them. And you allow them through your blind faith.